Okay, everybody, after I've sketched out all of my figures, 1, 2, 3, 4 figures that look like they're moving in different positions, different arms and legs and body parts in different poses, I'm now going to take something called my oil pastels, and I'm going to color in my figures different colors. So I can choose any color that I like, and I'm going to pick my first figure here and start to color in the whole figure. So oil pastels are kind of like crayons, but they're a little more slick, kind of like in between crayons and paint. So they're really great for covering a whole area really easily because they're nice and slick. So we don't have to use very much of our oil pastel to cover in our whole figure. So I'm just going to very carefully color in my whole figure, making sure I've covered up all the white spaces of my figure. And notice how I covered up the face too. In Keith Haring's works of art, which is what we're getting inspiration from, he just has very simple figures, just body parts, just arms, legs, bodies, and heads. So I'm going to color my whole figure, kind of just like Keith Haring covers in his whole figure. He doesn't really have very many faces for his figures. So I'm going to choose one color for each of my figures. They can all be different colors if I like. Maybe I want to switch to green for the next one. But I'm going to carefully make sure I color in the whole figure. Now, as soon as I've colored in all my figures, then we're going to use watercolor paint for the background space. Okay, let's pretend I've colored all my figures. Now it's time to use some watercolor paint for the background. The background means the space around the figure, behind the figure. So we're going to work with warm and cool colors today. So warm colors are red, orange, and yellow. Think of things that are hot, like the sun. Cool colors are purple, blue, and green. Think of things that are cold, like ice cubes, things that are dark and cold. So we're trying to paint the background the opposite color of our figure. So if I have a cool color like blue for my figure, I'm going to choose a warm color for the background space. So that means I can choose red, orange, or yellow. So I will take my paint tray and dip in my water. And remember, I need to dip in my water before I dip in my paint, so that I can wake my paint up, make it work. So I think I'll pick red. I will dip in my red. Now I'm going to paint all the space around the figure. Now the really great thing with oil pastel and watercolor paint is I can paint right over my blue figure and I can still see my blue in the end. That's because watercolor paint and oily oil pastels don't mix. They like to go in their own spaces, so that's good for us because I can still see my whole figure. So I can paint right over it, right on top. And I'll paint the whole box red. Okay, now I need to choose another warm color for this background because this figure is green. So green is a cool color. I need to pick a warm color for the background space. So I think I'll pick orange for this one. Paint my whole background space orange all over the figure. And again, I can paint right over my figure. Okay, now I'll choose a warm or cool color for these figures and a warm or cool color opposite figure color for the background. Okay, so when I finish, my art kind of looks just like this. Each figure is a warm or cool color, and then the background is the opposite. So blue is cool, yellow is warm, red is warm, purple is cool, green is cool, red is warm, orange is warm, blue is cool. So now my figures really stand out from the background because warm colors are very bright and cool colors are very dark. So they really stand out, light and dark colors against each other. So now I've painted all my backgrounds, colored in all my figures, and I am done. I can put this on the drying rack.